What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Afternoon Keg. It's your man, Darian D. Williams. Listen, man, Rio won't be here today, so it's all right. I'm gonna need somebody to throw me into the intro. It's okay because we got a great guest here this afternoon. Right, you're getting in, and that's 60-second countdown. That's a long time. I didn't realize how long that countdown was, but man, we have a great guest here today, and I'm not gonna waste no time. I'm gonna get to it right after the intro. What up, world? Welcome back to the Afternoon Kick. It's your man, Darian D. Williams. My partner, Real Robinson, will not be in today, but it's all right. You can still hang out with us for a little while. Week 3, heading into the matchup against let's see. All week I've been messing it up. Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. They're playing the Raiders this week at home at Northwest Stadium. And I said, we need a big-time illustrious guest. I said, I need to get somebody on here that knows ball and that's representing for the ladies. You've seen her on It Is What It Is. You've seen her on Fox 5 locally. You've seen her you seen her on an NFL shop commercial. You've seen her everywhere. And now you about to see her here on the D What Does It All YouTube page on the Afternoon Kick. I got Miss Arabia Tllery in the building. Arabia, what's up?
I'm doing well, thank you. That was a very interesting intro. First of all, I don't think anyone has introduced me as Arabia Tllery in a while, unless I'm on Fox, so I can appreciate the last name. Thank you. Also, you know how people play with us, like, oh, are y'all the Redskins, or are y'all the football team, or are y'all the Commanders? Like, what? I can't keep up. Why y'all do that to the Raiders? Talk about Las Vegas or LA or Oakland. I can't keep up. Like, how? Because when they do it to us, we like, come on now.
We talked about it before we came on the air. Moving is a lot. And they've taken every city with them, every place that they've moved. So the Raiders, let me be politically correct, because I got the professional here, so we got to be politically correct with me. Let me
no, you don't. Straight. It's okay. No, you do not.
But Arabia, you do that. How are you feeling though? Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm feeling amazing. I love your background. I think a lot of time, like you, I did a little bit, not a little bit too much, but I got some stuff on the wall. But yours is simple but effective, and I know you're probably gonna put some more stuff in because you said that you're moving and all that kind of stuff. But I like the simple, you know what I'm saying, plain background for what it is now. But I'm sure whatever you do with it, it'll look nice. But I'm feeling good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm good. No complaints. I'm just excited, like we mentioned. Football is back. And our Commanders are back. They're 1-1 heading into week 3. They've had some questionable games. The Giants game was a little questionable, and then the week 2 matchup against the Green Bay Packers was questionable as well. First of all, since I have you here, tell me your overall impression of the team. Just the beginning of these first 2 weeks of the season. Are they playing up to what you expected? Are you looking for more? What's on your mind?
Oh man. The first thing I want to say is that I've been telling people since the off season that we are still in a rebuild. Let me say that again. We are still in a rebuild. And people's rebuttal to that is how you in a rebuild and y'all got to the NFC Championship game. Slow down. A rebuild isn't characterized by how far you went in one season. A rebuild is characterized by personnel turnover. If there has been clear out in the coaching staff, not only do we have that, ownership is now still relatively new in all phases of this organization. We are rebuilding from the top to the bottom. New franchise quarterback, we've had the most roster turnover in the NFL. So with that in mind, the only time you can use how far we went as a metric of whether we are in a rebuild or not is if we do it consistently. If we go back to the NFC Championship game again this season, then we can say, okay, maybe we're in a rebuild, but we just got really, really good, really, really fast. But as of right now, we're still in a rebuild. So with that being said, my expectations moving into the season aren't based off of what record we should have, more so how are we developing our quarterback? And we'll touch on that a little bit later. I'm sure we'll talk about Marcus Mariota coming in. How are coaches calling games? Another thing that I want to talk about Cliff Kingsbury. What are some consistent things that we're good at culturally? Are we hustling on plays and playing through the whistle? Are we creating bonehead penalties? It's making sure that we're laying a good foundation to build on for the future. So, with that being said, there's one thing that I'm actually disappointed in so far
Okay.
through 2 weeks.
What
Because there's
is
a
it?
lot of football to be played. And it's our linebacker room, specifically Frankie Louvu. My expectations with this defense moving in was that our secondary just had some question marks because we have rookie Trey Amos, Mikey's in his second year, the vets Will Harris and Marshawn Lattimore. We just got to see how effective they are as veterans in the room. The defensive front was also questionable with Dietrich Wise, seeing how he incorporated with Washington, seeing how the interior was going to perform. But the linebacker room, that second level of defense, was my favorite room on the defense. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, if anything, Frankie and Bobby got it. Frankie is a great blitzing linebacker. He's great. Bobby's a great run defender. But I just would like to see some improvements in that linebacker room. That's it. But otherwise, I think offensive line could be better. I know we're working on that. Running back room, we're working on that. But it's just that linebacker room that I'm just like, I wanted to see more out of the gate.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Y'all checking in right now. We're live with Miss Arabia Tllery of ALL32, who covers the league on a national. Man, that's crazy. A national level. Y'all seen her on all your favorite programs. She covers them. And I'm curious. Oh, right now, make sure you guys like and subscribe to all the YouTube pages and all the social media handles that's represented. You'll be able to find them in the display, in the description of the video. So make sure y'all do all that for us. But Arabia, I want to ask you from a national perspective, and you've been covering them for a national perspective for a little while now. What's the perspective around the league of Jaden Daniels, first of all, and then the Washington Commanders as a whole? How have you seen that change on a national scale?
People love narratives, especially people who don't actually watch our games. People who don't sit down and watch an entire 4 quarters of football from the Commanders go based on media narratives. So here are some of the media narratives that are out there nationally. Jaden Daniels is expected to have a sophomore slump.
Mhm.
The defense is full of nobodies who aren't expected to be able to defend anything this season. Offensive line is terrible. Run game doesn't have anybody and is horrible. They're relying on a rookie who is unproven. So it's a lot of negative narratives out there. Now, a positive narrative that is out there is I think people recognize the force multiplier that Jaden Daniels is. That's one constant nationally. They understand that JD5 can elevate this offense and thus this team in a way that not many quarterbacks, especially second-year quarterbacks, are able to do. If you look at a Bo Nix, you look at a Drake May, you look at a Caleb Williams, some of these other guys in their draft class, JD5 absolutely stands out. So people are recognizing that on a national level and international level if we talk about the NFL's international presence just
Oh
around
yeah.
the world. So those are just some of the things that you hear from people. But now people who actually watch games and sit down and watch the Commanders play and don't go based off of what the media says have a bit of a better understanding of what we're looking like in terms of even coaching and play calling. And this person who is Mike Sanders still. I saw
Yeah.
him flash in the Lions game in the playoffs, but who is he? He's pretty special. Or so things like that. So that's kind of the pros and cons of what I've been hearing nationally.
Yeah, for sure. And you talked about Jaden Daniels, the expectation of a sophomore slump. News today came out earlier that indeed Marcus Mariota will get the start this week against the Raiders. We've been talking about it all week on all our programs. I've been talking about it on Breaking Command podcast, which airs every Monday, 9 p.m. Right here on the D Does It All YouTube channel. Then every Wednesday I'll be on ESPN 630 with my main man Mike Callow. So make sure you check out the Sports DC, the Sports Capital DC, and check that out. And we talk about it there. Last night I talked about it on All Burgundy and Go Everything. That's 3 R's with the fellas. And we talked about it. And we said, what would this game look like on Sunday with Marcus Mariota starting? And should he be the starter? So Dan Quinn made it official. And Marcus Mariota was named the starter. Instant reaction. What do you think about Marcus Mariota being named the starter? Are you concerned? Are you confident? How you feeling over there?
I feel very positively about this. And let me explain why. I have PTSD from the Shanahans and from RG3
Yeah.
and from the mishandling of talent just in general. Like look at left tackle who went to San Francisco,
Trent Williams. Yeah.
Trent
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
Like look at how we mishandled that situation. Just the way that we handle talent in general is a lot better now than it was in the past. So I was
For sure.
hoping that if there were any concerns with Jaden Daniels, that they wouldn't sacrifice a couple regular season weeks for our franchise quarterback who should be with us for a couple decades. So I feel positive that our front office and our coaching staff are making decisions that might sacrifice the product on the field a little bit for the next couple weeks while he recovers for the long term. And another person I think about is Jacoby Brissett. Why? Last season or season before that, when we had
Yeah.
Sam Howell, we had
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett behind Sam Howell.
The Tar Heel.
And we are kind of clearing out. Yeah, we were clearing out. I was like, oh man, Jacoby Brissett was a good veteran presence. He was a very positive role model in the locker room. But the reason why they got Marcus Mariota is because his game most closely resembles Jaden Daniels. So
Mhm.
that if any situation arises where QB2 would have to come in, he can more seamlessly come into the game and run that offense, that Cliff Kingsbury offense, in a way that most closely mirrors Jaden Daniels' style of play. So, do I think that their level of play is at the same level? Of course not. There's a reason why one is QB1 and one is QB2. But I think that there shouldn't be so much of a concern as far as fit. So we're going to see if he's able to sit behind that offensive line, have that same presence, work off schedule, make plays with his legs, which, in theory he should. And we're also going to see how that run game can help Marcus Mariota as well. So making sure that I think he has pressure outlets. Check downs aren't sexy. I know everybody wants that deep ball and wants, those 20+ yard passes. But if he needs to check it down downfield to win the game, check it down so that we can get the win at
For,
home. So, I feel fine about it. I feel good about it as an organization and on the product on the field.
for sure, live right now on the afternoon kick with Miss Arabia Tllery of ALL32. Man, we said the same thing. I've been saying the same thing all week. My whole thing was I don't think much of the game plan will change with Marcus Mariota in there. We seen him play last year for long stretches and seen how he performed, and you see how the team played well. I think they won't have to scale down anything. He still has movability. He can still get around there. He can still make a good throw. I think what you might see though, I think you might see Tllery get active this week. He's been dormant kind of the first 2 weeks of this season. I really think Marcus will make an effort to actually throw the ball this week. And maybe they settle in. I mentioned this last night on All Burgundy and Gold. I said, maybe this is one of those games where they say, hey, look, like you said, we don't want to risk anything on the future. We kind of want to just settle down. And you can do that with a veteran quarterback like Marcus Mariota, who's won the Heisman, who's played a lot of football in this league, and who has been with your staff. Remember, Marcus Mariota had the option to leave town last year. He definitely could have got a starting gig this past season, but he decided to stay in, wanted to be behind Jaden and really work with them. So I feel like not much will change, and this could be one of those games where they just say, let's just lock in, settle down, do what we got to do, and go play football.
Yeah, and I think like maybe they'll start off safe. Maybe they'll start off trying to see what Bill looks like as RB1 and helping him out with the ground game. But I think Cliff Kingsbury's ability to adjust mid game and be like, oh, Marcus Mariota is doing these things really well. Let's emphasize this in the second half, or be like, he's not doing these things really well. Let's make sure that we have, like I said, a pressure outlet for him to get the ball out of his hands if there's any pressure happening at the line of scrimmage. So I think this will also be a big game for Cliff Kingsbury and his ability to adjust through 3 weeks and also adjust mid game.
You mentioned it earlier, and Paul made a comment talking about PTSD from mishandling talent.
Oh yeah.
Through the time that Adam Peters has been here, he's now starting to be getting a little bit, getting some criticism about some of his draft picks. Maybe is Luka bust? Is Ben Sinnott actually okay? Does he actually know how to draft wide receivers? Or is Jaden Daniels a big band-aid for all of this? What do you think about the criticism that's going towards Adam Peters? Is it valid? Is it too early? Are they being irrational? Or just fans need to just relax? What do you think, Arabia?
First of all, I never tell anybody how to fan. It's called fan. It's short for
No,
finesse.
no. We're not gonna do that on here. You set boundaries and tell them to stop acting foot. No, I'm joking.
Because people, sports can be generational,
Yeah.
and it's an emotional game, and people feel very tribal about their team. So I wouldn't tell anybody not to feel negatively or positively about what they're seeing with their team. I also think it's responsible for fans to hold their team accountable and just question things and not just take whatever they're given. So in that way, I'm not mad at it. What I will say is that point to GMs in the league in the past and the present who are 100% in their picks.
Yeah.
You're not going to hit on
Yeah.
every single pick in every single draft. You have guys who are really good at it. I think Adam Peters is one of those across organizations, even with his time with the 49ers. Howie Roseman, really, really good at it. So even if he does need help picking wide receivers, picking tight ends, things like that at those skill positions in particular, that's fine. I think he will understand that and seek help in those draft picks. You know, it's a room for a reason. He's not by himself, choosing by himself. He consults with other people. And as far as so two things when it comes to receivers. Number one, they're on offense. And in general in football, it takes the offense a little bit longer to warm up than it does the defense. Usually your defense will come out playing a little bit faster, a little bit more efficient than your offense. The offense takes some time to warm up. Number two, the tight end position takes even longer to develop in because it's a hybrid position. So you're playing offensive line, getting your hands in the dirt with the big boys. You're also a receiver, so you have to work out with the receivers as well. So I extend a little bit of grace to Ben Sinnott. Second year for Luke McCaffrey as well. I know they're kind of looking at him with a question mark. Maybe family ties are holding him to the league at the moment. But I'm not worried too much about it because I think he has hit on some other positions that I don't think I don't think his misses, if they are misses, overshadow the good things that he's done. So I'm not too concerned about it.
For sure. You know, say it take about a couple years for you to actually see if a draft class is actually good or not. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'm curious before I transition to something else, I want to know what you think the Commanders would do this week against the Raiders coming to town. I believe the Commanders are favored by 3 last time I checked. What do you think the Commanders would do this weekend? Marcus Mariota starting quarterback with the Raiders coming to town.
So I think I saw some really good things from our run defense against Green Bay. We didn't let them run us down as much as I think they could have. Like I thought that they were really going to run on us a lot. Even with Jordan Love, his receivers were shaky last year, so I didn't know what the consistency was going to be like in week 2. So I was like, they might rely on the ground game, especially trying to run the clock out if they are up at some point in the game. So I like what we saw as far as run defending. I think our question marks at offensive line aren't as highlighted against a team like the Raiders because their defensive line isn't as dominant as the Packers defensive line. So I think they have a little breathing room there. I'm looking at Ashton Genty like, can we stop him the same
Yeah.
way that we made some stops with the Packers? And Pete Carroll is someone who is able to coach up deficiencies in his team. One of the best coaches to ever coach the game. And that whole AFC West division has legendary coaches. So I think between coaching, we have to make sure that we stick to what we're good at and make adjustments mid game if we have to. Keep the energy up, start off fast, get points on the board early because, in that fourth quarter, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So I think this is a interesting matchup, and it'll show us who our QB2 is in the time of need, and to see how our offensive play calling is progressing throughout the season.
Points. How many do you think we score? How many do you think they score? Will we win? Will we lose? What happens?
Oh man, this is really tough for me because both teams are trying to, like, the Raiders are still trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
Geno Smith did not look good in that division game week 2.
He looked real bad. Like he looked real bad. And I was confused. I was like, why he look so
Yeah.
bad? But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, he looked really, really bad. I'm just scared of him having a hot game
Yeah.
because if Geno Smith has a hot game, Brock Bowers, they have a 6'5" receiver who ran like a 4.2 40, who's fast and physical. Ashton Genty, if he gets like they have the abilities for if their offense gets hot, it could be problematic for our defense with the run and the pass. Um, and then because our QB2 is in, I'm not sure how their defense will dominate ours. I think it's an even matchup. I don't know. I can't give you a score prediction. I can't give you a win-loss. I think it'll be a really interesting game. That's all that I'll say. Like, I know everybody wants to be Miss Cleo and predict things and be ahead of the ball, but some games I just like to play out. Some games I can
Yeah.
call early, like Bucks, Dolphins. Come on, like let's be serious.
Yeah.
Jets, Bucks, all these other games, but this one I got to see how it plays out.
You know what? I never thought I would say this, but you're a real national now. That I'm gonna stay in the middle. I'm not gonna be on I think it'll be a great game on both sides. I think they'll play.
I do, but you know what? Again, like the same way I wouldn't tell anybody how to fan,
For
nobody
sure.
can tell me how to fan. And I
Nah,
feel
for sure.
like sometimes people do just go hard for their team as they should, but sometimes I just got to be like, let me just see. Let
Yeah,
me just see
be a
how we
realist.
react. Yes, I
Yeah,
like to
and
be pragmatic. So we'll see. Hopefully we get the win, but if not, it's okay.
yeah,
It's
is
okay.
the sky will not fall. You
No.
know what I'm saying? Everything will be good.
Yes.
And like we
Yes.
said earlier, I'm okay with them sitting Jaden Daniels right now because you don't want to risk the long term future of him for a week
Yeah.
3 game in his second year. Like you don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm definitely good with that. I'm definitely good with that. Make sure
Yeah,
you
and I
guys are
was
yeah.
concerned. I'm sorry, last day I was concerned
Nope.
about him playing with broken rib, well, with injured ribs last season because we clearly saw he's injured, like he's
Yeah.
hurt, and they're like, "No, he's fine," and clearly, no, he wasn't. So I'm happy to see that they're kind of taking that from last year and adjusting this year.
No, for sure, for sure. Guys, make sure you're following all 32 right now. On right now, Miss Arabia Tllery. Of course, it's your man D Will. You're watching this live on the D Will Does It All YouTube page. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, do all that stuff. You can go back and watch this video. It's gonna be a good time. But I would be remiss if I did not get into a few other things. I had some questions. I was just curious. Now, everybody knows you could talk ball. And now everybody's finding you and everybody's seeing you on different programs that come on daily and nationally with famous rappers and things like that. You got to tell us how that came about because I'm kidding. I want to hear the story. How did it come about where I look up and I see you on clips with Cameron Amaze? You know how come that we got Arabia here? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going on? That was a terrible Mason impression, by the way. But like,
No, but it wasn't because I knew exactly who you were doing, so it was good. It was good.
how did that come about, man? Tell us.
So, I was already kind of posting videos on Instagram, and my profile had just been accelerating. I was getting a lot of followers and a lot
Yeah,
of engagements and a lot of eyes. And so one day, you know how you have your DMs and then you have your like hidden DMs.
yeah,
So I went
yeah.
to my hidden just to filter through because a lot of my opportunities came from my hidden DMs because they're not coming from the actual big name. They're
They
coming
not in
from
the
their
general. They in the other. They in the other section.
yeah, like the hidden ones.
Yeah,
So sometimes people's managers or publicists or something are reaching out, and because their Instagram isn't as big, they don't get the same filter to your
yeah,
DM. So
yeah.
anyway, I'm looking through my hidden and I see this guy named Larry, and he's like, I love your profile. Like, would you like to be on It Is What It Is? And I'm like, is this real? Because he only had like a few thousand. But I saw that Cam and Mason, It Is What It Is, were following him. So I was like, interesting. So we get on a call. He explains who he is. He puts me on three-way with Cam. Cam told me in 2024, so like a year and a half ago, because it was early 2024, he was like, I'm going to give you your own show. Fast forward, now I do have my own show on his network. But
Shout out.
so we got on the phone and we just kind of talked about it, and he got me on the show, and that's how it happened. Larry reached out to me, and because he saw me on Instagram, told Cam about me. Cam checked me out, liked me, and then I guess now here we are.
Hey, shout out to Larry, man. Let's give it up for Larry in the building, man. Shout out to Larry for hooking that up, hooking the deals up. But no, shout out to you. And I'll just say that I got to give you your flowers because the space that you're in right now is a very small space, right? You're doing something that not a lot of people you like you do, and then not a lot of people that look like you do. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely proud, you know what I'm saying, I can have you here and that you representing. So it's a beautiful thing, man, to see you get up there. And you know, ball, you're not out here sounding crazy. Like, you know, how a lot of these shows, and we just call it what it is. A lot of these shows just like to have a face up there, right? Just somebody that
Yeah.
can say basic stuff. But you be getting down to
Yeah.
the nitty gritty. You be talking about third down, and I'd be like, oh, okay. I'm like, see, she know what she's talking about, man. Like, that's why I'm like, y'all got to lock in. So I'm glad to see it, and you're doing a marvelous work for women and for black women, man. Like black women be under so much slander, man. I love when and I can see y'all be successful. And I'm from a black woman. I married a black woman, and I got a black daughter. So like, I love to see y'all thriving and out here doing it. So I'm just happy for you, man. I'm happy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And to return the compliment, shout out to Black men. It was a
Yeah,
Black man who gave me the opportunity to cover the Super Bowl. It was a Black man who gave me opportunity to cover the draft. It's Black men who have me on their podcast, which reaches almost a million people, have almost a million subscribers.
wow.
Black men who gave me my own show. Like just the opportunities that I've gotten in this industry from men, specifically Black men who have not been inappropriate or crossed any lines or wanted anything in return,
Yeah.
who just genuinely want to see me win. Shout out to Black men for the positivity and for continuing to help me reach my goals.
For sure. And as a black man, I'm happy to say that if there's someone that I can help, I'm definitely always going to do that for you. And in the meantime, everybody else can help by doing what? How can they follow you? Where can they see you? What's going on? Tell the people.
Okay, so I have my own show out. It's called Arabia's ALL32. It's on the Come and Talk to Me network. So the same YouTube channel that Cam and Mace put out, It Is What It Is. The It Is What It Is show channel is called Come and Talk to Me. So my show is put on there every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 4 p.m. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch the videos, like, comment, share. And also my Instagram is ALL32NFL. I also have Twitter, I have TikTok, I have Facebook. So just follow me on social media. You could also book a one-on-one chat with me. So if you want to call me on the phone or have a video chat like this, just you and I, you can book a session with me so we can talk ball. We can talk about your team. We can talk predictions for the week, fantasy teams, whatever. So go to my Instagram profile and there's a button set that says book now. You can do that. And yeah, that's about it.
It sounds like football therapy. If you're going through some things, contact Arabia right
Come
now.
talk. If you need a
Yeah.
therapist, if you're a Bills fan, if you're a Browns fan, if you're a Titans fan, just let's come talk. Let's
And
come talk.
what about the rest of our division rivals? Cowboy fans, Giants fans, and Eagles fans. Welcome to.
I get a lot of people who wanna call me to argue. So shout out to all the Cowboys fans who call me to argue. It's a lot of fun. So all are welcome. All 32 teams are welcome.
Hey, it's better to get paid to argue than it is to do it for free. And with you being on a national level and doing all that stuff, yeah, you can argue me about whatever, as long as my check clear at the end of the time, I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being on. We have Arabia here, so make sure y'all following her everywhere. And hey, go Commanders. We're gonna get this dub this week, even if Arabia wants to stay towards the middle. It's okay. But remember, you might come back and be like, yeah, I heard it that it was gonna go straight down the middle, but it's all good. But no, shout out to Arabia for being here. And of course, make sure y'all sub up and be on the channel. So much content there. I will catch everyone. Let's see, Monday on Breaking Command Pod live at 9 p.m. Gonna have a new illustrious guest. Who knows who it could be? Could be you. So just link up, follow right there. But until then, let's go Commanders. Let's get this dub. And peace and love. Now, if I can end this stream like I'm supposed to.
Hail to the Commanders.
D Will does it all.